Okay, good afternoon and welcome to the June 10th, 2024 meeting of the Orlando City Council. We're going to begin today's proceedings with the invocation and pledge led today by Commissioner Tony Ortiz. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's bow our heads, if you will. Dear Almighty God, we thank you for all your blessings, for allowing us to wake up in the morning and gear up to serve our people, for our families and friends, especially for allowing us to live and serve in this great city. Lord, today I ask you for your guidance as we decide on issues that directly impact the quality of life of our residents. Please listen to our prayers as we ask you for your unity, tolerance, and collaboration during these times. Give this body of local elected officials and all elected officials in our nation the wisdom and fortitude to represent the communities we were elected to serve. And last but not least, I ask you for your protection. We ask you all this in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll and make determination of a quorum, please?
Commissioner Gray?
Here.
Commissioner Ortiz?
Here.
Commissioner Stewart?
Here.
Commissioner Sheehan? Here. Commissioner Burns?
Here.
Mayor Dyer?
Here.
Mayor, you have a quorum with all members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. First order of business is the consideration of minutes from the
Second.
workshop agenda review and City Council meetings of May 13th, 2024. Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Burns. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. On to awards, presentations, and recognitions. Today, believe it or not, is the final City Council meeting for Chief Assistant City Attorney Roy Payne. And Roy, that is applause for your three decades of service, not applause that you're leaving. But Roy has served over 3 decades for the city of Orlando, has guided us from the dais, and of course in many, many legal matters. His professionalism and his expertise have been incredibly impactful and helpful to the city and its citizens. So I'd like to call on Deputy City Attorney Jody Litchford to share a few words on Roy's impact, and then I have a proclamation to read in his honor.
Thank you, Mayor. It's really pretty hard to encapsulate 33 years of service to the city in the time that you want me to spend doing that. But, you know, Roy came to the city having experience already as an attorney, made a wrong turn on the path to greatness after being a double gator, went to work somewhere else, but quickly realized that Orlando was the place to be. Came to us, believe it or not, on a 2-year contract of employment, which was renewed several times before he realized he was a keeper, or maybe before we convinced him to stay with us. And he's just been, as you all know, hugely significant in pretty much every public works project and transportation project in the city for the last 3 decades. But the important thing about Roy, I think, is not really what he's done, but how he's done it. And he does it with impeccable competence, cool, calm demeanor. Nothing throws Roy off track. Nothing's ever too much to ask of him. And he works and works until he gets the job done. Rebecca Sutton called him her steely-eyed missile man. And once you get that picture in your head, you'll never let it go. And it'll be always how we think of Roy. Now, I don't think he's actually leaving. I looked in his office. There's no chance he's going to get that mess packed up in a week. And I'm pretty sure that even though he's going on to a job that's got perhaps higher prestige, certainly higher pay, it does not have the amount of love that we have for Roy and will always have for Roy. He is, to say beloved, sometimes it sounds trite, but he is beloved in our office and throughout the city, I think, for the work he does and the way he does it. So this is not a good day, but I do want you all to join me in congratulating Roy for his tremendous and valuable service to the city. And I guess the mayor has proclamation.
I have a proclamation. Proclamation, City of Orlando, Office of the Mayor. Whereas, thanks to the dedication and professionalism of its employees, the City of Orlando provides critical services, programs, and amenities that residents, businesses, and visitors rely on each and every day. And whereas the strength and efficiency of our municipal government comes from the City of Orlando employees, and whereas their passion for public service is critical to our collective efforts to ensure that the City Beautiful remains a great place to live, work, and visit, while also allowing the City of Orlando to face any challenges that come our community's way, and whereas Roy practices law the same way he lives his life, with quiet, even-keeled confidence in what he knows and a commitment to finding out what he doesn't know. He's always courteous, with an integrity that shines through in all he does. He is smart, thorough, and kind, always mindful of his obligations and determined to put his client's interests first. And whereas Roy has, through wise counsel, drafting skills, and legal advice, participated in every civic improvement completed by the City of Orlando over the last 3 decades, ranging from major highway construction to the city's spectacular new and renovated venues. And whereas Roy's contributions to the growth of the City of Orlando community have been immeasurable and invaluable, and whereas Roy Payne is retiring after 33 years of service in the City of Orlando, will always be grateful for his countless contributions to our community. Now, therefore, I, Buddy Dyer, Mayor of the City of Orlando, hereby do thank Roy Payne for serving our city and extend best wishes for good health and much happiness in the future. Yeah, I think we're supposed to go down and do a picture, Roy. Why don't you guys stand up behind?
With 5, I get to get in the middle. Where's Lillian? Bring Lillian up there.
Hey, Willie?
I'm running for District 5. I figured a way to come to the city council meeting. Wouldn't you?
With as many attorneys as we have, we should be assigning one to each district.
We should have one. That's a good idea.
I don't want to see that. Have you seen that?
One
You're in
attorney to each
trouble,
district.
right?
One attorney per
That's
district.
right. There you go, Jody. We have so many problems. One attorney for each district.
It's like 2 for each district.
No, that's District 6.
Well done, Roy.
I got it, Jim. I got it, Jim. Thanks. I got it.
That chair has legs. That chair has legs. How they know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go right into the mayor's update. So it's a difficult week for so many in Orlando and beyond, actually, as Wednesday marks 8 years since the Pulse tragedy. And there are a pair of remembrance events on Wednesday that help us all honor the 49 lives that were taken, and I invite the community to join us. The remembrance ceremony will be at the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. The event is free. Tickets have to be reserved in advance. The ceremony will be preceded by the ringing of 49 bells at the First United Methodist Church. And I'm proud that our community continues to offer love and hope to the survivors, the families of victims, and first responders, and all those who were impacted by the tragedy. As we look ahead to the future, one of the ways that we can do that is to create a permanent memorial, and that has fallen to the City of Orlando. And to help guide that process, a Pulse Memorial Advisory Committee will be formed to help develop opportunities for input and engagement in both English and Spanish, and ultimately recommend a conceptual design to the council. Those interested can apply at pulseorlando.org/committee. And it's my hope that together we can create a place of reflection where those impacted by the tragedy in our entire community can go to remember. Also this week, the runoff election for District 5 interim city is scheduled for next Tuesday, the 18th, but early voting started this morning. I encourage residents to visit orlando.gov/election to learn about the ways to vote. And then next Wednesday is, we'll celebrate Juneteenth, which marks the end of slavery in the U.S. on June the 19th, 1865. Commemorating Juneteenth gives the opportunity to celebrate civil rights progress while also recognizing the injustices that Black Americans have endured. I'm proud that Juneteenth is a recognized holiday for the City of Orlando employees, and I want to invite the community to our Juneteenth celebration, which we're hosting along with Senator Geraldine Thompson. It is a free event at Camping World Stadium this coming Saturday from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And that is it for the mayor's update. We'll move to the consent agenda, which are a number of items that are acted upon through a single vote of council. We give each of our council members an opportunity to speak on both items from the consent agenda as well as important happenings in their districts. We rotate the order we do that. Today, Commissioner Ortiz is first up.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'm going to concentrate on one item. Is basically, I was in Washington a couple of weeks ago with the Florida League of Cities, and there's three particular items we talked about with our delegation up in Washington. Is PFAS was one of them. Excuse me if I mispronounce this word. It is per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Never mind, PFAS. So we urge Congress and the administration to support legislation that addresses the growing concerns about PFAS in soil and water and provides liability protection for entities, including cities, that have legally used PFAS for fire suppression or have passively received PFAS, such as water utilities and solid waste facilities. Additionally, direct funding for local governments to comply with new regulations to avoid creating an unfunded mandate that will disproportionately impact low-income residents and communities. Tools and resources for testing and research, public education, and risk management. So that's one of the big ones, and it's something that we have been talking about here with our firefighters for quite a while. So it was a good, we had great support from our delegation. The other item was National Flood Insurance Program. We're urging Congress to advocate for a long-term FIP reauthorization package that provides affordability for existing and future policyholders, more accurate flood mapping, and resiliency incentives. As we all know, we're still dealing with the outcome of the last hurricane we had. And we have been blessed with having the Congress representative we have. They have helped us, especially lately. Congressman Soto helped us with a grant for our district. So, and the last but not least item is simplifying local government grants. That doesn't apply so much to us, but it does apply to a lot of the municipalities adjacent to us. They have small populations and they don't have the resources in order to apply for these grants. And sometimes some of these grants are can be pretty complicated. I want to especially thank Congressman Maxwell Frost, who opened his doors to us. We had a great conversation. I mean, the man is really doing a great job out there in the community. So is Congressman Darren Soto. We had the chance to speak to Senator Marco Rubio and to Senator Rick Scott. So And that's all I have for now, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Stewart?
Thank you, Mayor. Let me just cover a couple of things in the neighborhood. But first, Roy, let me tell you how much we're going to miss you. We appreciate your service to the city and our friendship, so thank you very much. We're going to miss you. A couple of things going down the list. We've just completed the 33rd Annual Fringe. I know Patty will share a little bit more about that, but I'm so excited about that now continuing, and we've heard great reports from that. Had the opportunity to present a plaque for a 100-year house, one of our first ones over in College Park, to Grace Hagedorn. I did say it's because of one of our first ones, because College Park was formally founded in 1925. This was built just before that time frame. So we had a chance to go over there and see Grace and put a little plaque on her house and get a chance to visit with her. She is a College Park historian, and hear the stories about College Park always get me inspired. I want to say a special thanks to OPD for the work we did over in our community shred event in Rosemont. We filled up a truck. I guess we're about 3/4 of the way full, which is about 8,000 or 9,000 pounds worth of shredding material. We're going to plan on doing that again soon, so I appreciate that. And especially appreciate my liaison officer, wherever he is, somewhere. It's like he's hiding someplace, to Carlos Hill, for helping coordinate that along with our Neighborhood Watch Group. Congratulations to the Great Southern Box Company, and who's now got their new food hall open over in Packing District. It's open. It's been open about 3 weeks. If you hadn't had a chance to go over there, come enjoy that. It's another amenity over in the Packing District. Mayor and I had a chance to go over to, along with Commissioner Ortiz and Commissioner Burns, to see the opening, the grand opening of the Palm Gardens affordable housing over on Westmoreland and Colonial. It was great. Was so impressed with the work that they've done. They'll be moving in so their current clients to the front 90, and then they'll be doing the remodeling of the back 90 units. And so we're really excited about that and seeing what's happening there. We've got some great press coverage, but more importantly, had a lot of people that have called over there since then saying we need a place to live, which shows how much that is in demand. So I appreciate that. A couple of quick congratulations. Kelly's Ice Cream is turning 14 this summer, so love that. They have somewhere, they told me, I think 49 different outlets now in Central Florida, 7 actual places where they actually sell ice cream in the canister, and then they also have the commitment with Foxtails and others. So they have done a great job. It's a great local company. To see that continue to grow, it's wonderful. Congratulations to the Ivanhoe Village Business of the Month, the Epic Paddle Adventures. And then I want to say a special thanks to Andrea LXQ. We had the Dueling Dragons fundraiser this past weekend with Orlando Kiwanis. Had a great turnout. I had a chance to beat Chief Smith in corn toss, and so I thank you, Chief, for you're a better quarterback than that. You were nice enough to let me win. Thank you. Thanks, Chief. I appreciate it. But it was a great time. Dueling Dragons is one of those few programs throughout the country that we have here in Orlando that really is an example of how we can bring inner city kids and police and law enforcement all together. Just to be able to communicate to one another and work as a team. And we have some great success stories of people who have gone on to college, and now some have come back and helped with the program. So it's really been great to do that. Mayor, thank you for your comments about Pulse. This is a difficult time for many in our community. And so I mentioned that to say that mental wellness is important in our community. And so as you see people who are struggling, please reach out. There are plenty of resources that are available, but somebody's got to take that first step for them. So please, let's continue to look out after one another. Along with that, this week we're giving blood on Wednesday, I think it is, and of course the Juneteenth is coming up. On the agenda, a couple things I want to mention. On A1, we have some approvals of some of those volunteers who are working in our committees in the city. Elena Wallace and Ahan Topgool are from District 3. I mention this on occasion because our city runs because of volunteers who take an important step in our committees, and we can't do it without them. I want to say how much I appreciate that. On B4, we are approving it's kind of a backwards way of doing it, but we have to go tell the TDT that we have that we are approval, that they have the right to go ahead and apply for TDD loans because they have an agreement with us. So it's our way of helping them raise money outside of the land that we have given them to use, which I appreciate the chance to be partnering with them. And then on C14 today, we'll approve a small business facade over in Ivanhoe, Trey Ivanhoe Salon. Excited about that, and that's as we're coming towards the end of the year. We want to make sure that all this money we've set aside is being used to help beautify our individual neighborhoods. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll move to Commissioner Sheehan.
Thank you, Mayor, and Roy, thanks for your many, many years of service, and I guess you're not going to have to take any more crazy calls from me over the weekend, so really appreciate you and wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and you know, you have a lot to be proud of what you've accomplished here, so we really do appreciate you. Yes, Commissioner Stewart, I did see 41 shows at the Fringe Festival. It was amazing, and I would tell anybody, if you have not been to the Orlando Fringe, we are one of the largest Fringe festivals in America. It's a great festival. It's a wonderful opportunity to see local performers. I know our attendance was a little off this year, so I encourage everyone, if you haven't bought a ticket or supported the Fringe, please do so, because it's really a gem in our community, and there was just some really amazing shows, and I was surprised some of them didn't sell out because they were just absolutely top-notch shows, but I know some of the city employees were there. I appreciate you all supporting them. That was just a wonderful time. I do have a concern, and I know this isn't really a city issue, but many of our residents have participated in the City of Orlando Solar Co-op. I did so because I wanted to support green energy and everything like that, and this actually was a city program, so I put solar panels on my roof, and now OUC is talking about greatly reducing the amount of credit that I can get. Most people base their solar loans to kind of offset their bills, and it's called net metering. So what's going to happen if OUC goes forward with this process is that people will have a solar loan that will not cover their utility bill. They will still have a utility bill. It's very unfair. These are not well, and that I was told, well, only wealthy people can afford solar panels. There are retirees, there are people that want to do the right thing for the environment. And I think this is a really punitive and horrible thing, and I've met with OUC many times, and every time the proposal got worse. And then I was told my electric car was a problem too because I'm affecting the grid, and I'm like, I barely drive 3 miles a day. What are you talking about? So it's just a very punitive thing towards people trying to do the right thing. So there is a meeting Thursday at OUC at 2 p.m. I will be there. I would encourage anybody who's concerned about solar energy, in addition to they're talking about doing surge pricing on people. I don't think that's fair either. I think we should know what our power is costing us without having to worry about running our air conditioners and getting a surcharge. So I just think this is a very punitive thing. I think that people should be outraged. I'm getting a lot of feedback from people in my district, but again, it's not us, it's the OUC governing board meeting. That's Thursday at 2 p.m. and I will be there. If anybody needs any information, please let me know. I will be glad to help you get information. But you know, if those of us who are concerned about clean energy and the environment need to understand there's a reason why we don't have more solar, there's a reason we don't have more electric vehicles, and there is a reason why we have a climate crisis, because we have stopped clean renewable energy, and this must stop. Our utility companies must embrace clean energy, not do whatever they can to fight those of us who want to do the right thing for the environment. That's my fuss. But I do have a happy thing. I just want to thank staff. We had so many people in City Hall, Mayor, that worked on the Rainbow Run over the weekend. This was started by a UCF student to honor lost friends who actually lost people in the Pulse Massacre. And this is not a silly run. This is something that people do to raise money for our permanent memorial. And I wanted to thank everybody here. I want to thank everyone publicly, because we had so many staff people working over the weekend. But I want to read you something from the sister of one of the 49. She said, "I truly enjoyed the walk today. It felt so effortless. The air felt clean. Usually it is heavy and forced. This was really great. I had decided this was my last one. Not anymore. Thank everyone. It is extremely appreciated." So thank all of you. And we're going to do the right thing, and we're going to do this right, and we're going to make sure that the proper, beautiful memorial is built for these folks who should have been celebrating their marriages and graduations. Their families shouldn't have been going to funerals. So 8 years later, it's important that we do the right thing. It's terrible that this got waylaid and a lot of money and time was wasted. But Mayor Dyer, I know under your leadership, this is going to be done right. And Dr. Schooler, and we're going to do the right thing, and this is going to be beautiful, and it's something important for this community. And on the agenda today, I just had the Greenwood Cemetery walking tour. Glad to see that we're getting an extension on that, because I think that's going to be a lot of fun for people when they go to the cemetery. We've done some neat things at the cemetery lately, and I want to, it's a wonderful historical amenity as well as a place of rest. But I think we should have a historic walking tour, because there's so many great people, great Orlandoans who are actually there. So thank you, Stephanie, for your work on that, and staff as well, and Olga and everybody. And Mayor, that's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Burns?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everyone. First, I'd like to say thank you to Roy for your wise counsel and your guidance, and as well as your service to our great city. And as commissioners mentioned, you will be greatly missed. So again, thank you. On Saturday, May 18th, I attended the Haitian Heritage event that was put on by the Greater Haitian American Chamber of Commerce. The evening recognized and honored the rich cultural heritage, history, and significant contributions of our Haitian American residents. I also had the opportunity to present a proclamation on behalf of Mayor Dyer and this council. So a great time was had at that event. Also on May 20th, I attended, on behalf of Mayor Dyer, the MLK Humanitarian Award banquet. The evening recognized 27 high school students in our community who exemplified the ideals of Dr. King's legacy of service, equality, justice, peace, respect, and inclusion for all. I read a proclamation on behalf of the mayor and the council proclaiming May 20th as Mayor's MLK Humanitarian Day. And I'd just like to thank Marcia Hope Goodwin and Brandy Hand and their entire teams for all their hard work on this event. It was really a great event. And just to see those high school seniors who just carry on the spirit of Dr. King was great to see. Also on Wednesday, May 29th, I attended Athletes Connection Scholarship event. It was an excellent opportunity to celebrate the hard work and dedication of student athletes receiving scholarships. I'd like to say thank you to Dan Cross and his team for providing these scholarships. I think this was their 5th year in providing those scholarships, in my first year participating and supporting that effort. Also, on Tuesday, June 4th, in conjunction with FPR, we hosted the Willie Mays Park Community Input Meeting as we decide on how this great park will be redeveloped. It was wonderful to see the passionate community members coming together to discuss the future of our beloved park. The meeting was filled with insightful discussions and great ideas for the park's redevelopment. And I'd just like to thank Beth Grubber from FPR. She did a great job engaging our residents in discussions about the future of this beautiful public space. So again, thank you to FPR and Beth specifically for her work on this. On this past Saturday, June 8th, I was thrilled to host the first District 6 Family Reunion Fun Day. The event was a huge success, bringing together families across the district for a day of laughter, games, and great food. We had an opportunity to do water aerobics, Get Fit District 6, some senior activities, bounce houses, and a kickball tournament. Seeing so many people come together to celebrate our community was very rewarding. And I'd just like to say thank you to Orlando Firefighters Union for providing and cooking the food for this event, as well as to Police Chief Eric Smith. I tried to get him to do some water aerobics, but he declined. But thank you for coming out, as well as the other OPD officers for attending this event. Just some upcoming events. Our next District 6 Mobile Satellite Hours will be held this Wednesday, June 12th at the L. Claudia Allen Senior Center from 10 a.m. to 4. Please call my office for an appointment. And just one thing on the agenda, I too wanted to recognize A1, the Citizens Advisory Board appointments and reappointments, and just say thank you to all of our residents who volunteer and give of their time to serve on these various boards, because our city could not move and serve our residents without your help. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Gray.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a couple of comments. I apologize, a little nasally. I'm not sure how you catch a cold when it's 100 degrees outside, but I've done it. So please bear with me. But I want to congratulate Roy. Not only has he done great work, but he's put up with a lot of my banter this way. So I want to thank him. And the thing I love about Roy is if he doesn't have an answer, he admits it. And I don't know many lawyers that admit they don't know everything in the world. So Roy, congrats. Keep that up, please, in the future. That's a great trait out of a lawyer. On Tuesday, May 14th, I wanted to recognize our friends out at Nemours Children's Hospital. They opened a family resource center. And unbeknownst to me, who lives out there, I didn't realize, but kids go at Nemours usually have special medical issues. These aren't broken arms and ingrown toenails. These are kids with some severe issues. And I didn't realize, but 50% of the families that are there, their parents, don't have jobs that are paid time off. So can you imagine being a parent and you have to decide, do you stay with your child who's got a severe medical issue, or do you go to work so you can get paid? And so Dr. Laura Chilcott, who's on staff, said, wait, this is wrong. So she formed, with the help of the Edith Bush Foundation and Second Harvest Food Bank, this resource center where families can not only get food to help them, feed their families, but they can apply online. They have a computer lab to help them apply online to get help, whatever the government service might be or whatever they need. But I want to congratulate Dr. Chilcott for doing that. So that was a great opportunity to go to see the Family Resource Center at Nemours. Then on Tuesday, May 21st, also along the healthcare lines, did a groundbreaking for Advent Health's new state-of-the-art hospital. They're going to build a 300-bed hospital in Lake Nona, right on Narcoossee, state-of-the-art hospital, which will be opened in 2026. But I counted 7 cranes, and I'm not sure you can find 7 cranes in Central Florida right now, but it's a big project, and congrats to Advent Health. And again, I make the comment 5 years ago, plus or minus, we had no real medical facility out in Lake Nona other than UCF had some, but now Orlando Health's there, Advent Health is coming, HCA is there, Nemours is there, so we've caught up there. So congrats to Advent Health. On Tuesday, May 23rd, went to the Visit Orlando Luncheon, where they kind of gave us an update on the tourism world. And good news, the international travelers are coming back kind of post-COVID. The domestic travelers were here, but their stats are saying international folks are coming back, which is good news for us. But the interesting theme was because of several local restaurants being acknowledged through Michelin as kind of Michelin-rated restaurants, we're starting to become known as a foodie destination for travelers. And that was kind of a neat little twist. And Commissioner Burns was there with me, but that was, again, a neat little twist for Central Florida and Orlando. And then finally on Friday, May 24th, did the Memorial Day recognition event at Greenwood Cemetery. It was organized by the Mayor's Veterans Advisory Council. Commissioner Sheehan did a great job as emceeing the event, and Stephanie and her team did a great job setting up and taking everything down. But it was a short but very powerful event to me, along with last weekend's D-Day event, to just drive home the fact that folks that, our forefathers in prior generations have sacrificed a bunch for this country. And it was just a great reminder. So thanks to everybody for doing that. That was great. On the agenda, real quick, as I said in agenda review, I'm going to vote no on item C5. And other than that, Mayor, I would like to move approval of the consent agenda.
Motion by Commissioner Grace, second by Commissioner Sheehan. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, those of you that were here just for the consent agenda, now's a good time to take your leave. Thank you for attending. And without objection, we'll recess the city council meeting and we will convene the CRA meeting. I think I can handle the first 3. So number 1 is approving CRA meeting minutes from April the 22nd. Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 2 is approving CRA minutes from May 13th. Motion by Commissioner Stewart. I'll take Commissioner Sheehan's as a second. All in favor indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. 3 is accepting advisory board minutes from April the 24th. Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And David, I'm going to let you handle the rest of these.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Mayor. Good afternoon, and good afternoon, members of council. So first item, well, I should say new business item before you all today is an agreement with Circuit Transit Services. And I don't know if you see a presentation before you, but I'll pretend that you do, and if you don't, just let me know, and I can talk a little bit slower on some of the details. Circuit Transportation is a group that handles point-to-point or rideshare app-based services in several communities, both throughout Florida and the United States. While working with a number of businesses and residents in downtown, it became fairly clear that we needed to increase our mobility options within downtown Orlando to help people both get around to their ultimate destination, but also to patronize the businesses that we have, in various different districts throughout downtown. So while doing that, we also are keenly aware that downtown during the day has changed. We're in a post-COVID environment, and we want to make sure that we're increasing every opportunity available to encourage more of our daily workforce to come back to work and then come out of those buildings while they're here so they can see all the exciting things that we have going on in downtown and also provide some much-needed economic benefit to our businesses. So in those conversations, these things aren't new to any of y'all, but I think they're part of the conversation. We're seeing especially the business clients looking for other services in addition to limo, something that's very convenient. We live in a convenience economy these days where people just want to go directly from where they are to where they're going, and they want to know specifically when they're going to be able to do that. That's the nature of technology that we have today. And a kind of an overall thought process, I think this is more of a business term right now, or at least that I hear often, is that you have to go to your customers. If you're not delivering the services that your customers want, then there's too many other options out there that they will serve that, or vice versa, they just change entirely and then could potentially start to decrease their patronage of downtown. So the solution that we are proposing is Ride DTO. As I mentioned, that's a app-based rideshare service, and it will be fare-based, comparable to a public transit cost, just $1 per ride. The program would consist of 1 year's worth of services for 5 vehicles to circulate in downtown. We would be able to utilize a recent Hollywood, Florida contract in order to work with Circuit. It would be a 1-year commitment with two optional 1-year options to extend. As I mentioned, it would be 5 vehicles. The initial operating hours would be from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., also targeting that last mile service. So we have been obviously looking to increase patronage of commuter rail and Sunrail and those type of things, and being able to connect from your destination to that last mile, whether it be your home or your workplace, is very important to seeing that level of service hopefully increase as well. And then we'll be getting monthly and quarterly reports from the service provider as to how things are going so we can monitor the program moving forward. Just a quick sneak peek on what the vehicles might look like. The top is a fully EV Kia. We know we have the Kia Center, so going with that moniker to utilize to get people around downtown, that can get people on all the streets. And then we have some GEMs. Those are electric vehicles you see on the bottom. They can actually carry more people and are sufficient enough to get around kind of the core of downtown and everywhere else. One of those would be outfitted to be ADA compliant, so we can accommodate all of our patrons within the area. The service area you see before you is for the most part the entire CRA, so as long as you're within that area, you'll be able to get on your phone, just like if you were booking an Uber or a Lyft or request a pickup, you would get a time that they would pick you up, and then they would deliver you directly to your next destination. It would be an exclusive ride. They would not pick up anyone else along the way. It would just be you, let's say from City Hall to the North Quarter if you were going there for lunch at Reyes or something like that, and then you can coordinate them to obviously pick you up and bring you back. So convenient service. We looked at comparable cities in order to see how this is working in other areas. One of the other cities that we looked at most definitively was Tampa, due to a lot of synergies. They've had a similar program there for about 5 years. And the context while working with their staff was basically that the program was loved to death. They had so many people utilizing the service that the wait times got long. So that's what success looks like. So they had to end it. It was also in that COVID environment, but they recently brought it back and are seeing that process move forward. You see some of the primary destinations being their transit center, as well as their university and their grocery store, all things that we're fortunate conceptually to have as well. You see here San Diego, California, with over 600 users daily, or riders daily. Hollywood, Florida, which is again the contract that we're able to utilize, over 13,000 riders per month. Their CRA actually established the program down there. So just a brief timeline. The things are ultimately approved today. It went to CRA Advisory Board on May 22nd. Today is obviously the CRA's opportunity to vote, and then if successful, the program would be hopeful ready to launch in September of this year to coordinate with a lot of the other activities we have going on with our partnership with United Arts and a number of other things in downtown. And I'm happy to address any questions.
Commissioner Ortiz and Commissioner Burns.
I see it's $1 a ride. Do we pay through an app or do we pay cash?
No, you pay through the app, just like Uber or Lyft. We're also have already coordinated with the company. We do plan on offering somewhat of coupon codes if people patronize a restaurant, or it could be various components of, like let's say our senior towers, where they'd be able to put in a code and that would validate that dollar. So though you would still have to register and be able to do that, so you have the app system, that cost could be covered under certain circumstances.
Okay, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Very well.
Commissioner Burns.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I was just reflecting back on discussions that we've had with limo in the past, and the lack of ridership, but also the continued investment in limo. And so I'm just trying to understand how these two would potentially work together, but also the autonomous pilot program that we have downtown. So one of my questions is, what's our total investment in mobility in those three downtown
So
on an annual basis? Because I see we'll be paying $595 for this program for the year.
Sure. The CRA's contribution, which is for the most part the entirety of the limo operational cost, is about $2.4 million annually.
2.4 for limo.
Correct. This would bring that up, if you add this 600, it's rounded that to a $3 million investment. The autonomous piece, and that's our transportation department, so if I'm incorrect, please just step in to correct me, I believe is scheduled to, that was a pilot program, which I believe they are scheduled to stop on June 21st of this year, of testing that beep shuttle. So this would be complementary to that in its initiation. We're obviously monitoring that progress to see. Limo, there's a lot of commitments that the city and that were made both with FTA as well as with Lynx for limo operation. So we wanted to make sure that we're still offering the limo service to customers, which does provide especially services to a lot of folks in District 5 on the west side of I-4, getting to Publix and kind of solving that grocery desert, so to speak, that food desert that's there. So that service is not anticipated to be impacted by this initially.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Further questions? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, number 5, David.
Thank you, Mayor. So number 5, this is a DTO facade program funding agreement between the CRA and HHCP Architects for 120 North Orange Avenue. So they are seeking to do some improvements to the external facade of that building. They're doing some painting, some tile, as well as some awnings, as you may remember. We worked together to increase our facade program funding amounts, especially for historic buildings, up to $300,000 in several, I believe that was last year. With that, this entirety of this improvement for this building is $30,600, of which they are eligible for $24,480 in funding from the CRA. And it did receive a recommendation of approval from the Facade Review Committee on May 6th, and I'm happy to address any questions.
Questions, motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. 6.
Item 6 is another facade grant program, this one for 217 North Magnolia Avenue. This is a restaurant in our core of our downtown, our central business district. They're looking to do some facade improvements, including some roof work, some painting, some new sign, windows, doors, awnings, and stonework, so more beautification within the core. The total amount of their improvements is $62,787.30, of which they are eligible for CRA reimbursement of $50,229.84. This item also received a recommendation of approval from the Facade Committee on May 6th, and I am happy to address any questions.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Number 7.
Thank you, Mayor. Number 7, this is a DTO restaurant program funding agreement between the CRA and Rihanna and Rochelle's Jamaican Cuisine. So this and the next item I will read for approval as well is in the J. Henry Building, 642 West Church Street. So they have 3 tenants in there. You know we have J. Henry in there. This would be one, and the next item would be another. This operator has signed a 15-year lease for that location. They are spending about $190,000 in build-out to build out a full-service restaurant in that space. With our new restaurant program, they are eligible for $103,000 or $103,800 for both TI and initial years rental abatement. And they do bring a number of years of experience, over 13 in the restaurant area, especially with Rihanna and Rihanna's Jamaican spot in Fort Pierce. So happy to hopefully welcome them into the downtown area. And I'm happy to address any questions.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Stewart. Are Rihanna and Rochelle here by any chance?
I do not believe that they are.
No?
No.
Okay. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And number 8.
All right, number 8, the final item for the CRA. This is a retail program funding agreement, as I mentioned, that last space in the building there at 642 West Church Street. This is for a retail location going by the name of House of Danter Love, doing business as Tanya Designer Boutique. They will sell both men's and women's clothing. In that establishment, it is 800 square feet, and the owner has 4 years of experience in the retail operations and management sector. They're building out that space and spending just shy of $70,000 in all of their improvements, of which they are eligible for $37,710.36 from the CRA's retail program.
Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Sheehan. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. David?
That is all.
All right, then we will stand adjourned as to the CRA, and we will reconvene the city council meeting. That brings us to hearings, ordinances, first reading. Number 1, Madam Clerk.
Ordinance number 2024-21, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, vacating, closing, and abandoning a portion of West Hollenbeck Street and Cole Avenue, generally located south of Lake Beauty Drive and west of South Orange Avenue, as described in the Orlando Regional Healthcare Plat, as recorded in Plat Book 72, page 95 of the Public Records of Orange County, Florida, and comprised of 0.12 acres of land, more or less, providing for conditions of abandonment, and providing for the execution of affecting documents, severability, correction of scrivener's errors, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Burns. Any cards, Madam Clerk?
No speakers, Mayor.
No speakers, discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, number 2.
Ordinance number 2024-24, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida, relating to zoning districts and uses, amending provisions of the Land Development Code to create a new category of public benefit uses and to update the regulations for existing assembly public benefit uses, providing legislative findings, and for severability, codification, correction of scrivener's error, and an effective date.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Burns. Discussion. Any cards, Madam Clerk?
No speakers, Mayor.
All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Commissioners, this is one of the ordinances that requires a public hearing after 5 o'clock, unless we vote by a supermajority to hold the second public meeting at our normal City council meeting time, staff recommends that we hold second public hearing at our next available regularly scheduled city council meeting beginning at 2 o'clock. Do I hear such a motion? Motion by Commissioner Sheehan, second by Commissioner Ortiz. All in favor indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. Okay, hearings, ordinances, second reading, Madam Clerk, number 1.
Ordinance number 2024-3, an ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida, annexing to the corporate limits of the city certain land generally located south of Monarch Drive, west of Conroy Road, and north of McCoy Road, and comprised of 19.03 acres of land, more or less, and amending the city's boundary description, amending the city's adopted growth management plan to designate the property as residential low intensity in part, mixed-use corridor and medium intensity in part, and conservation in part on the city's official future land use maps, designating the property as one-family residential with the aircraft noise overlay district in part, medium-intensity mixed-use corridor with the aircraft noise overlay district, and Conway Road Special Plan Overlay District in part, and conservation with the aircraft noise overlay district, and Conway Road Special Plan Overlay District in part, on the city's official zoning maps, providing for amendment of the city's official future land use and zoning maps, providing for severability, correction of scrivener's error, permanent disclaimer, and an effective date.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Stewart. Any cards, Madam Clerk?
No speakers, Mayor.
No speakers, discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, and so the motion carries. Number 2.
Ordinance number 2024-9, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orlando, Florida relating to district use standards within the Paramore Heritage Overlay District, amending Chapter 58, Part 2AI Land Development Code entitled Paramore Heritage Overlay District, PH, providing for severability, codification, correction of scrivener's error, and an effective date.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Commissioner Burns, second by Commissioner Ortiz. Any cards, Madam Clerk?
No speakers, Mayor.
No speakers, discussion, hearing none. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries. And let's move down to ordinances on first reading, number 1.
Ordinance number 2024-23, an ordinance of the City of Orlando, Florida relating to the Citizens Police Review Board, amending Chapter 48, Article 5, Section 48.15 of the Code of the City of Orlando, Florida, repealing Chapter 48, Article 5, Section 48.16 of the Code of the City of Orlando, Florida, repealing Chapter 48, Article 5, Section 48.17 of the Code of the City of Orlando, Florida, providing for severability, codification of correction of scrivener's error, and an effective date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Ortiz, second by Commissioner Burns. Madam Clerk, any speakers?
No speakers, Mayor.
No speakers, discussion, hearing none. All in favor of the motion indicate so by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, and so the motion carries. That brings us to the end of our official agenda. Ed, can you get us ready for general appearance?